All right, this is Eliana back at you again. And so I'm coming to you with my another day of my video journal. I missed a couple days, but what I'm doing is I spent the morning looking at different properties. And I think I mentioned in one of my video journals early on that I was getting my LLC in place and that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be working with wholesaling properties. I've been a former realtor and I'm actually going for my broker license right now. And the other thing is, I started my LLC for the wholesaling portion, and I re-upped my company, my my property preservation company. It's called Strong and Associates. We are on Facebook, and what we do is, if you don't know what property preservation is, it's once the properties have gone into foreclosure and they are been taken back by the banks who made the original mortgage loan to the homeowner, the purchaser. They have that property. It's called REO, or real estate owned, and then they want to sell it because they're not, the banks are not in the business of holding real estate. But what they will do is, the real estate is the collateral. When a loan is made, it's made based on the borrower's ability to repay based on their job or their original assets. Once the loan is made, the loan is secured by the real estate, the piece of property that the loan is made on. So what happens is, once people can't make their payment after 3 or 4 or 5 payments and they're so behind and the fees and the interest go up, then the bank forecloses on them, and the bank takes the property in collateral for the remaining loan that's owed. So people leave their home. They're no longer buying it. It doesn't matter how long you've been making your payments, because the majority of payments made at the beginning are all to the interest of that loan. That's how the lender recoups their money. So if you keep the loan for 30 years, you'll end up paying for the home almost 2.5, 3 times what you actually bought it for. So that's also what makes properties appreciate in value, because the home didn't get more special or more beautiful. I mean, you can do some home improvements, but over time, if it's a great neighborhood, if everyone's taking care of their property, keeping their lawns nice, low crime, well, the actual interest that the mortgage company is receiving, plus the time, uh, causes that home to become more valuable over time. And so when it's sold, say in the future, it sells for more, because the market will bear that people will pay more for that home based on the length of time those loans have been held by the current owners and their timely payments. So that factors into that whole thing. So once buyers can no longer make their payment, the bank takes it back and then they hold it. So then it's called real estate owned. And what the bank really wants to do is get rid of it as soon as possible. So they will work with a broker. That's why I'm going for my broker license. They will work with a broker to list the property on the market to find a new buyer. And usually, REO property, the banks are looking at cash buyers, especially if it's a smaller home and they have a lower loan that they were, maybe within 15 years of paying off. The bank just wants to recuperate cash. And so they'll look for a cash buyer, a quick sale. And that person will be usually an investor, because they're usually the ones that have a lot of cash that can just come in and buy properties. They'll come in and buy the property from the bank, they'll fix it up, and maybe they'll flip it or they'll hold it. Maybe they're not an investor, but they are a landlord. So they get the property cheap because they do have cash, go and do a little bit of repairs, and then put it on as a rental, and then start getting income off of that property. So that's the whole real estate business market. So today I did, for my first journey, is I went out to identify from some properties that I'm looking to turn around and wholesale to an investor to purchase from the seller. And these are homes that are not currently on the market. So the seller is not listing it for sale. Maybe it's been sitting, it's vacant, and it's maybe broken into and boarded up. And it could be a natural person that's a seller. Maybe somebody died and their kids, inherited, but they don't live in California anymore. They don't live in the area. They really just, oh, we got to do something about that property. They're not interested really in living there or raising their children. So they're looking to sell that property. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And then, of course, when the other properties come on and the banks are looking for a broker to sell them, I'll be coming and becoming the listing broker on a lot of properties. So I'm excited. And then the third arm of my business is doing the property preservation. So then there are properties where the banks will have an asset manager because it's so much property. So this manager will manage all the real estate assets that this one lender has in a given area. And they are looking for people to go in and clean up the property first, get it market ready, and then they'll give the listing to the broker. So now then the broker can list it, and the property person, the property preservation person, will maintain the yard and keep up the work. And I've done that already. I've also been a realtor for many years, now just going to become a broker. And I've done property preservation for a long time as well. The only part, I've put deals together, but I've never done the wholesaling part. So that's a little new. It was just a tiny bit of a leap of learning for me. But the background skill, searching property, all that, I loved it. I mean, from about the age of 19 till now, I've seen a lot of property in my day. That's all I did was look at properties, look at homes. That's what drove me to get my license. That's what drove me to get in the market. I've had some success in selling in particular markets. And I just loved looking at homes. And that's one of the reasons why I love being a realtor, because I had that MLS key and I could go in. I would see a beautiful home. I just wanted to see the interior. I would go in there and then I would try to market that property. I never sold any really high-end homes. Oh, I did. I actually sold one really high-end home in a gated community, and the people paid cash. I went to the bank with them to wire that funds to the title company, and it blew me away. Yeah, I didn't know people had cash like that. That was my only high-end transaction. I remember it was a good day. It was a good feeling. But I was just the agent working for my broker. It was my listing. They trusted me. It was a beautiful home. And then, the home was empty. The realtor was selling the home for his family. Beautiful property. And way up high, I was just checking because we have to do an agent visual inspection. Way up high before they bought it. It was on the market. I got up way up on the cabinetry in the kitchen and just looked around and opened up the cabinets. And I saw this beautiful crystal, oh my Lord, butter dish. And it was way in the back of the cabinet. And nobody could see it. You couldn't even see it just standing and looking, right? And so I contacted the seller and I said, hey, I just found this beautiful crystal butter dish and it probably belonged to your mother. And he goes, oh, yeah. He says, let's meet and I'll get it. But that's my integrity, because somebody else would have saw that and kept it. I mean, it was beautiful. It was exquisite. And very well, I could have kept it. But no, why? Because I believe in the law of reciprocity, right? What you sow, you reap. And if it was an heirloom like that in my family and somebody saw it, I would expect them to call me and say, hey, Eliana, you left this here. Can you, I don't want it to go with the sale. Because once all the dots were crossed and these people were paying cash, it would have become their beautiful heirloom. But I used the right integrity. And then the seller, who was also a realtor and a builder, he actually built one of the, I think, Busch Gardens up in Gilroy. Him and his crew built that up, that beautiful. I've never been, but I hear it's beautiful. But that's the other work he did. They built Busch Gardens. So it was a pleasure to work with him, and it was a wonderful experience with these cash buyers. The sale was quick and everything. So now, getting back to the video journal. So what I'm getting ready to do now, I took a refresher tutorial course, which was excellent for me. It got me motivated this morning to do my first transaction. So what I'm going to do here in a few minutes is I'm going to start searching for the owners of these 2 vacant properties that I just located in my city in Merced. And I'm going to see if I can locate these owners and then contact these owners to get them an offer. And if they accept my offer, then I'm going to look for a cash buyer, and I'm going to assign the contract. And that's how you wholesale. So if you want to know more about that, look on YouTube. There are plenty of videos on teaching you how to wholesale a property. But that's what I'm doing today. So I'm excited. And this is going to be my first wholesale transaction that I'm working towards. And I wish me great success. I know that I'm going to be successful eventually because I just love this. I'm passionate about this kind of work with real estate. And eventually I will make enough money to buy me a home. I live in an apartment right now, and I've always wanted to own my own home. But of course, having been a real estate agent for a very long time, I have looked into some beautiful, beautiful homes. So I will probably have my home built when I'm at the point of really having my own personal home, because I've seen so many beautiful features in homes over the years, and I just can't decide, and I've seen things that I would say, oh my God, it's lovely. I want this. I'd like this feature. So I'm probably going to purchase land, and then I'm going to have a home built. I'll have all my plans drawn up by an architect. I'll have it approved by the city. I'll get all my permits, and then I'll get a builder to build me my own special dream home, right? But maybe in the meantime, on the journey to the dream, I will actually probably buy a home so I can stop paying rent, because the money that I'm using for rent right now could go into my cash flow, and it could be part of my business. So I think what I'll do is do a few wholesale deals, grab me a nice property that I can live in and fix up, and then eventually I will probably sell that one as well to go on to my dream home. But first things first. Okay, well, this is Eliana. I will get back to you and let you know as I'm going step by step through this process. I will be doing another video journal to let you know how I'm doing. And of course, when I get to my close, I'll be showing you my check from the title company of how much I earned on the deal. And I'm very excited to be doing this right now in my life. It's the perfect time for me. It's wonderful. I encourage everyone to do something. I know we're still in pandemic, so you're going to see this video in 5 years from now, and I'm going to use the word COVID-19 pandemic. Well, that's the time I'm starting this. So when you see this in 5 years, you will say, oh, wow, that's an old video. But in pandemic, and I'm talking about September 2020. So you're watching this in 2025. Yes. 5 years ago, I did this, and I'm probably going to be a very wealthy investor at that point in 5 years. So I'm saying to you, shalom, make it a wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully great, 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 great day. And here I go on my first journey. Bye.